Have you ever wondered what really goes down during a big corporate cyber attack? Beyond what we see in the movies. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and follow a threat from the very beginning all the way to the end, the digital crime scene. All right, let's get into it. You see, the story of almost every major security breach, it doesn't start with some brilliant line of code. Nope, it starts with this simple, powerful idea. People on the weakest link. It's a fundamental truth. And this one idea, it's the key to understanding both how the bad guys get in and how companies try to keep them out. So if people are the problem, how do you fix it? Well, you try to build what the industry calls a human firewall. And this isn't about software or hardware. It's all about people, their knowledge, their habits, and building a culture where everyone is thinking about security. But building this firewall, it's not a one-and-done kind of thing. It's really a journey, a continuum, with 3 distinct levels. It all starts with general awareness, just getting people to think differently. Then it moves into practical training to build specific skills. And at the very top, you have deep education for the security pros themselves. And here's kind of how that breaks down. Awareness, that's your short-term stuff. E-learning modules, videos, posters in the break room. Training is more hands-on. Think instructor-led labs where you actually learn a skill. And education, that's the long game. We're talking seminars, research, the deep stuff. So the next time your company makes you watch one of those security videos, now you know, you're part of that very first layer, awareness. Okay, so even with the best human firewall, it's getting tested constantly. So to really understand the defense, you have to understand the offense. Let's flip the script for a minute and open up the attacker's playbook. First off, a quick but really important point. We throw the word hacker around all the time, but in the security world, there's a big distinction. A hacker is someone who just explores systems, kind of pushing the boundaries to see what's possible. A cracker, on the other hand, they're the ones breaking in with bad intentions, to steal, to destroy. They're the digital burglars we're actually worried about. So how do these crackers exploit that human weakness we talked about? Well, their number one tool is something called social engineering. This is the art of manipulation. It's less about breaking complex code and more about breaking a person's trust. They're not hacking the computer, they're hacking the person sitting right in front of it. And the most common flavor of social engineering is something I guarantee you've seen, phishing. That urgent email that looks like it's from your bank, or a shipping notification with a weird tracking link, that's phishing. The goal is always the same. Pretend to be someone you trust to trick you into giving up the goods, your passwords, your info. And what happens when you click that link? Well, it might deliver one of the most destructive threats out there today, ransomware. This stuff is nasty. It doesn't just steal your data, it takes it hostage. It scrambles all your important files, making your system totally useless until you pay up for the key to unlock them. And the whole process is brutally simple. Step 1, gain access, usually from that phishing email we just talked about. Step 2, encrypt files. The malware quietly locks everything up. And step 3, demand ransom. A message pops up on your screen demanding payment, almost always in cryptocurrency, to get your own data back. So with attackers constantly poking at our human defenses, we obviously need more. We need technology on our side. And that brings us to the digital watchtower, all the systems and teams that are constantly scanning the horizon for any sign of trouble. At the very heart of this watchtower is the Security Operations Center, or SOC. The best way to think about it is like mission control for cybersecurity. It's a team of people surrounded by screens, watching a constant flood of data from all over the network, just looking for anything that seems even a little bit off. Now, the SOC doesn't just sit around and wait for bad things to happen. They're proactive. 2 key things they do are vulnerability assessments and penetration testing. An assessment is like walking around your house and checking all the windows and doors to see if they're locked. A pen test? That's like hiring a professional to actually try and break into your house to see if they can. One finds potential weaknesses, the other shows you what a real attacker could do with them. And the automated alarms they use in this watchtower come in 2 main types. An intrusion detection system, or IDS, is basically your smoke alarm. It sees something suspicious and starts screaming for help. But an intrusion prevention system, or IPS, that's more like your sprinkler system. It doesn't just detect the fire, it actively tries to put it out by blocking the bad guy's traffic. But sometimes, despite the human firewall, despite the digital watchtower, an attacker gets through. The alarm goes off. A red light flashes in the SOC. This is it. This is the moment of truth. An attack is officially in progress. As soon as that alarm rings, a special team gets called into action, the Computer Security Incident Response Team, or CSIRT. Think of these folks as the digital firefighters. Their first job isn't to investigate, it's triage. It's all about containing the damage, stopping the bleeding, and getting the most important systems back up and running. And this response? It's not panic. It's a carefully planned process. They've already done the preparation. Now that an attack has been detected, they move right into containment, eradication, and recovery, which all leads to the most important part, learning from it in the post-incident phase. So let's go back to our ransomware attack. What would the CSIRT do? They'd follow a precise playbook. First, they'd quarantine the infected computer to stop the ransomware from spreading. And critically, they would not turn it off because valuable evidence can be lost from the computer's memory. Then they'd hunt for patient zero, the first machine that got hit, before finally wiping the systems and restoring everything from a clean backup. Okay, the immediate fire is out. Systems are coming back online. But the job is nowhere near done. Now the investigators arrive to piece together exactly what happened. Welcome to the digital crime scene. This next part of the process is a whole specialized field called computer forensics. And it's not just about figuring out what happened. It's about gathering all the digital evidence, log files, data fragments, you name it, in a way that is so methodical, so precise, that it can hold up in a court of law. And the absolute foundation of any forensic investigation is something called the chain of custody. Think of it like the evidence bag you see in a detective show. It's a perfect, unbroken record of who touched the evidence and when. If you break that chain even once, a mountain of digital proof can become completely worthless in court. The forensic process itself follows a very strict order. It starts with the response, which is all about securing the digital crime scene. Then comes collection and acquisition, where they make a perfect copy of the evidence to work on. Only then, once the original is safe, can the analysis begin. And it all ends with the final report. And this right here is where it all comes together. The most critical part of this entire life cycle is that it's a circle. That final report from the investigators doesn't just sit on a shelf. Everything they learned, how the attacker got in, what they did, gets fed right back into the system to make everyone smarter and to strengthen what the human firewall and the digital watchtower. Which brings us all the way back to where we started. We said that people are the weakest link in the chain. But after seeing this whole cycle, how awareness and response and learning are all driven by people, it kind of makes you wonder, if our mistakes are the biggest vulnerability, maybe, just maybe, our ability to learn is also our greatest strength.